Hello everyone. So the problem which we will be solving now is earliest finish time for land and water rights too. So this is the third problem of this contest, and if you look at the time constraint of this, it is 5 into 10 to the power 4, and the earlier problem was I guess 100 or something. So that in that question you could have brute force the solution and it would have might passed it, but this solution requires a time complexity of big O of n log n, right? uh, right, you can't write a solution which will work in big O of n square, right? So big O of n square will fail, definitely fail, right? So let's first read the problem statement, right? So you are given two categories of theme park attraction: land rides and water rides, right? So land rides is will give you a land start time, is the earliest time ith land ride can be boarded, and land duration is how long the ith land ride will last, right? Similarly, water rides will be nothing but earliest the water ride can be boarded and how long the water ride will last, right? A tourist must experience exactly one ride from each category in either order, right? A ride may be started at its opening time or any later moment, and if the ride has started at time t, it finishes at the duration t plus duration, right? Immediately after finishing one ride, the tourist may board the other if it's already open, or wait until it's open, right? So you need to return the earliest possible time which the tourist can finish both rides. Okay, so let's look at one test case, right? Let's look at this. Land start time is given 2 comma 8 and the duration are 4 comma 1, and water start time is 6 comma 3, water it start time is 6 and duration is 3, right? So if you, let's say you started at this, you get up at this ride at 2, right? You will finish at 6, and after finishing you could go on this ride, and it will start from 6 and last till for a moment of 3, and will end at 9, and after that you can go home, right? So let's look at another. We have the explanation explains all other possible ways which could have been there, right? And if you look at the other possible ways that won't be before this, right? Let's say you started with 8, you would finish at 9. After that you can 6 had already means the gate of 6 has been open, you could go to 6, and it would take a time of 3. So 8 plus 1 is 9, and after 9 it will take 3 more seconds, so after 12 you can go home, right? So you can try all possible ways, and 9 will give you the minimum value, right? So this is the earliest which you can get, right? So uh, one more test case, why not? Let's take one more test case. This is pretty obvious, I guess. So you are given a land start of 5, duration is 3, water is 1 and 10. So let's say you first took the water one, right? So it started at 1, it will be for 10. So 1 plus 10 is 11. After that you will see the land ride had already been started, so you can take that as well, and it will take 3 more, so 11 plus 3 will be 14, right? So this is the way uh, for this example to give you the solution. So what could be the thought process of solving this problem, right? So if you look at the solution, it is pretty greedy type solution, right? So first let's I have written a test case as well. So let's say you had these start times, right, and these durations, right? So before jumping into the solution or the next example or the next test case, let's first think of some things, right? So what I'm trying to explain to you is, let's say you had started, you can have two ways, right? You can first start the land ride, right, and after that go to the water ride, right? And the next one could be, you can start with the water ride and then you can go to the land ride, right? So these are the two possible things that could be done, right? So why not, let's say you, if you want to first experience the land ride, right? So tell me one thing, right? If you want to experience the land uh, part first, So which one should you prefer? If you want to finish it early, you would want to start and finish earliest as possible, right? Not only start, you need to finish early as well, right? So why not pre-compute, why not let's pre-compute all the values, where all not all the values, let's pre-compute which will be the minimum land finish first time, right? Minimum land finish, right? what does this what does this do, right? So we will traverse on all land ride parts, right? And after traversing we will find which will finish first, right? And let's say it finished at x, right? At x time, if you have finished this, you can now go to any water ride and check that okay, this will be the value, right? So roughly, if you think, if you can find this land finish time in big of n, uh, you can traverse and find big of n, right? So you will pre-compute this, right? So after finding this, you can go in the water ride and find which will give you the minimum value. So this will be big of n plus n, right? Not big of n square. I'm saying first pre-compute the value, traverse on the land values, find the minimum one, right? Minimum one which will finish early, right? Of which will finish early, right? Sorry for the handwriting, man. So which will finish early, right? And after, let's say you finished at x, you go on the water rides, you find which will give you the earliest exit. Similarly, you can do this for the water one as well. So traverse on the water one, find the minimum water finish first, right? And after that, go on the land rides and check the value, right? If it's unclear, let's look at this test case, right? So let's say you had a land start time of 82, 14, and its duration are 42 and 32. So let's say first I go to the land part, right? So if you go to the land part, tell me what are the values that you can have, right? You will have, if you start at 82, it will take 82 plus 42, right? And if you go to 14, it will take 14 plus 30. Now tell me one thing, which ride will you prefer? You will definitely try to prefer this ride, yes or no? Yes. And let's say you will prefer this ride, right? And if you prefer this ride, it will give you a value of 54. So you will finish your land ride at 54. Now you can go to the water ride, right? Let's say after finishing, let's complete this, right? You had this land ride part first, right? And after having this land ride, you went to the water ride, right? Now you will see, okay, this starts at 6, right? And ends and takes a duration of 91. So if you were wait, let me erase this, right? So let's say one more second, please. Okay. So if you look, you finished your land ride at 54. Now you said let's go to the water ones, right? You saw the gate has opened at 6 only, right? And now it takes a duration of 91. So tell me what will be the ending duration for this. So at, let's say, 54 minute, you came to this part, you saw, oh, the gate is open. Now how much time will more it take? So it will take 54 plus 91, right? Great. Let's see what if, and let's go to the next slide. It's 54. So gate has opened at 54. Now you can definitely jump into the water rides as well. So it will take 54 plus 71, right? So if you compute these two values, this will be a minimum one. If I am not wrong, it will give you 125, and the other one I have not computed. Yes, it is 145 and 125. So 125 will be the minimum for starting with land rides, right? Okay. So what is our next step? So the next step is go to the water ride first, right? So if you go to the water ride first, you need to pre-compute the value, right? So which water ride will finish first, right? So if you go and look, they started at 6, right, and took 91. So it will finish at 97. The first one will finish at 97. The second one will finish at 4 plus 1 5, 125, right? Okay. So now you have two values, right? Which one will you take? So at 97th minute, your first water ride will be completed. So we'll say, okay, let's take this one, right? If you are starting with water, let's take this one, right? Why not finish early, right? You will finish at 97. Now you will go to the land rides, right? Now if you go to the land ride part, the gate opens at 82 and it lasts for 42, right? So it will when you are at 97, the gate had already opened for the first ride, and now it will take plus 42 2 more minutes, right? And if you go to the next part, the gate had opened only at 14th minute only, so it will take 97 plus, what is the time duration for this, 30. So 97 plus 30, right? So it will be 127, right? And this will be 139, right? So minimum out of these is 127, and before that you had already 125 as your value, so the answer will be 125, right? So now what logic could you build from this place? From this place you had, I guess, pretty easily understood that we need to compute minimum land time and minimum water time, right? And after that you will traverse on the water time and check some conditions. But before jumping to the code, let's clear one more thing, right? That will be clearly clear all your doubts if you have any, right? Let's say you your water ride started land ride, let's say your land ride finished earliest at x minute, right? Okay, so if it finished at x minute, right? So now you can go to the water rides, right? And let's say the water ride had not yet opened, right? Let's say this value was 5, right? And the water ride which you are looking for had opened at 10 and it will last for, let's say, 20, right? So what will happen at this moment? What will the value be? So at this moment the finish time for your ride will be 20, right? That means 10 plus 20, not 20. Let's say you finished at 5, you came to this water ride, you sat for a moment, you the gate opened at 10th. Now it will take 20 more minutes, so the finish time will be 30, right? So if your value is greater, right? Let's say let me write this thing, sorry. So what I'm trying to convey here is, if your water start time or land start time, any ride start time is greater than your minimum value, right? Your minimum let's say land finish, right? Let's be little more precise, minimum land finish, right? So if your, let's say, water ride starts after that, so you will have a value of water ride of I plus water duration of I, right? Water duration of I, right? And if not so, let's say your ride finished at 5 and the ride opened at 2 only, right? uh, let's say your ride opened at 2 and it will last for 7, right? So let's not take 7, let's take 2 only, right? Okay, so you finished at 5 but gate had opened at 2 only, so you will say, okay, no problems, the time which will take me to finish is 5 plus 2, right? So you are not adding this value now, right? I hope this is making sense for you. Let's say, let me explain in simple words. Let's say मेरा राइड 38 मिनट पे ख़त्म हो गया, राइट? और उसके बाद दो कंडीशन ही होल्ड कर सकते हैं, राइट? आइदर द गेट हैड ओपनड एट 10th मिनट ओनली, राइट? अगर 10th मिनट में ही शुरू हो गया हुआ गेट और उसका राइड लेट्स से 2 मिनट लास्ट करता है, तो 30 plus 2 will be 32, right? And you can clearly see you don't need to add this value, you don't need to again start or wait till 10, right? But let's say राइड खुलता है 40 मिनट पे, तो you will have to wait for 10 more minutes, right? And let's say it also lasts for 2. So when will the ride end? Your final value be? So it will not be 30 plus 2, it will be 42. Why 42? Because gate ही तो खुल रहा है 40 पे. How will you finish at 32, right? So that's why the value will be 42. So I hope the intuition and the logic was behind this was clear. So now let's quickly look the code. So what I'm doing is I'm first finding minimum land finish and minimum water finish, right? NNM are land start time and water start time. I'm traversing on all values and finding the minimum land finish. And how am I finding this? So it is minimum of minimum land finish comma land start time of I plus land duration of I. So let's say 2 comma 3, so finish time will be 5, right? So that's what I'm doing here. I'm doing land start time of I plus land duration of I. Similarly for the next part, same thing I'm doing for water, minimum water finish, right? And after that what I'm doing is I'm traversing on the I'm going in land first, right? So if I took the land part first, now what are the rides which I can take? It is the water rides, right? So what I'm checking is if water start time, right, of I is less than equal to minimum land finish, right? So let's say land finished at 3, now the water starts at 3 as well, right? Or less than 3, let's say water started at 1 only, right? So now it will only be the value which will be added will be minimum land finish plus water duration, whatever the duration is, right? I hope you're not having any doubt in this, right? So let's say your land ride finished at 1, right? Not 1, let's say 10, right? And water had already, gate had opened at 1 only, right? And it will last for any value, let's say x. So what will be the answer? It will be 10 plus x, right? After finishing this land ride, jump quickly into the water ride, right? So it will be minimum land finish plus water duration of I, whatever the duration is, right? Else, let's say you had 10 and the gate opened at 20 and it will last for 3. So what will be your finish time? Quickly tell me. It will be 23, right? So it will be water start time of I plus water duration of I. I'm storing this in a value and answer will be minimum of these, right? Similarly I will do for the water part, right? So I will start in this, I'm doing the same thing for the land part, right? Whatever I did at this moment, exact same thing, but we are starting this. See, we are in this part we were going first in the land ride, right? And this part we are going first in the water ride and doing the same exact same thing, right? And computing our answer as a minimum value and finally returning it. So if you look at the time complexity of this code, it is big O of n only, right? You are traversing on this, and you can to be more precise it will be big O of n plus m, but it can be written as big O of n as well, right? So this was the full code of this. You can try to submit this as well. I will give the code in the comment section, and if you have any more doubt, please do ask me in the comments. If you like the video, please do subscribe my channel and share this video. Thank you for watching.